Hi, I'm Congressman Paul Ryan from the great state of Wisconsin. You've probably heard of my friend and my governor, Scott Walker, who's doing great things in the Badger State. I love Wisconsin, just as I love America. And that's why I want to take a couple of minutes to talk with you about the economic mess my home state was in before Governor Walker was elected, what he's done to turn things around, and why it's so important, not just to Wisconsinites, but to all Americans, that these reforms continue. A little over a year ago, Wisconsin faced a massive $3.6 billion budget deficit, one of the largest in our history. This despite one of the largest tax hikes in state history a few years ago. Employers were packing up and moving their businesses and jobs and tax dollars to less punitive states. Wisconsin had lost 150,000 jobs over the previous 3 years. 90% of Wisconsin's business leaders said that the state was headed in the wrong direction. Wisconsin was ranked the 9th worst state in the nation for business. In short, the state was broke. Government spending was out of control, and the citizens who fund the government and hire Wisconsinites, they were leaving. It was unsustainable. So in November 2010, after Scott Walker promised to get Madison under control, my fellow Wisconsinites elected him our 45th governor. And he got right to work. He turned that $3.6 billion deficit into a surplus without raising taxes. In fact, the school tax levies dropped only for the second time since 1996. His reforms have already saved Wisconsin taxpayers nearly $1 billion. Instead of 90% of business leaders saying that the state's moving in the wrong direction, 94% now say we're moving in the right direction. Instead of losing 150,000 jobs, Wisconsin added thousands last year. Meanwhile, the doomsday scenarios predicted by government employee unions haven't materialized, not even close. The massive teacher layoffs and exploding class sizes that were supposedly coming didn't, in large part because Governor Walker's reforms allowed school districts to shop around for insurance and save taxpayers tens of millions of dollars in the process. Compare that to neighboring states like Illinois, which faced a similar situation as Wisconsin a year ago, but chose instead to raise personal income taxes by 67%, corporate income taxes by 46%, rather than make the kinds of reforms Governor Walker made in Wisconsin. The result? Even with the massive tax hikes, there's still a budget shortfall in Illinois, the lowest credit rating in the nation. Unemployment jumped from 9% to 10% as employers continue to leave that state. So much for the argument that huge tax hikes and unrestrained government spending is the path to economic prosperity. The reason this is so important for all Americans is that the more governors we have, like Scott Walker, governors who make the tough decisions and put their states on sound economic footing, the better our national economy will be. Likewise, the more governors we have that follow the irresponsible example set by Washington, D.C., continued overspending, job-killing regulations, and a complete unwillingness to give up budgetary gimmicks and make the tough decisions, the worse off we're all going to be. We all love this country, and we're all in this together. If Governor Walker's reforms are rolled back, it's not just going to make Wisconsin less competitive, it's going to make America less competitive. It would send a message to other governors and to Washington, D.C., that courage and discipline will not be rewarded, but gimmicks will. We can't afford to let that happen. Governor Walker's reforms are working. I stand with Scott, and I hope you will too.